Yeah, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom to the wandered Israelites, which include you, Judah's children, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. Okay, as well as bloodline, who are still oppressed together, according to the book of Jeremiah 50:33. But to whom Soleil belong the adoption, okay, the glory, the covenants, the giving of the law, the promises, according to the book of Romans chapter 9, verse 4. Okay, just namely the blessing. The blessing of the birthright, okay, if you don't know, so to speak, right? Ecclesiastes 10:7, I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking, and servants upon earth, okay, KJV 16:11. Yeah, first I want to go into James 5:1, okay, James 5:1. Okay, and this is really not a topic, where you need a breakdown for, right? You already know, okay? If you're stacking, so to speak, stacking up your money, it's good, because what people should actually do is, I remember when brother from Holland said that. I believe it was Tazaba. He said, like, people should actually have some money in the background, but spend a little bit money on the background, so they have something. If if you have a big bill to pay from your, I don't know, electricity bill or your water from your home, doesn't really matter, because it is there. Okay, it can be there and it will be there, right? If I look at myself, I only have sometimes certain bills where I really think about where where can this possibly come from, right? Not saying that I don't know where it comes from, but just wondering, okay, why is it so big, right? Why is it that the costs are, the inflation was so heavy, right? All these things, of course, go into that. Okay, that it's in these days, specifically, a really clever thing to have some money on the back. Okay, because it's really, everything is getting more expensive. Okay, and yeah, so let's read first verse 1. Okay, James 5:1. Go to now, ye rich men. Okay, weep and toil for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten. Yeah, because it goes also into, I just wanted to show you 5:1, but really, if you continue reading, it goes into where these riches actually come from, and that makes the whole situation a completely different situation. Because if you understand where the riches of these people come from these heathens specifically, okay, then you also see that it's basically gotten to unrighteous dealings, okay, and also basically stolen. So it wasn't theirs in the first place, right? So it doesn't make sense double time, okay, to basically to think, we can live what it's not ours, live with what it's not ours forever, which this is not the case. Okay, and another example for that is, for example, the country where you're in. Okay, for example, right, I'm in Germany at the moment, and somebody who thinks he's the real German because he's so-called white, okay, it's just nonsense, and it just shows that he is really not clever, or not any way clever, okay, not even a little bit, because he would know that it's a difficult thing to say, I'm more German than you makes no sense. From where you know where my ancestors come from? You don't even know where your ancestors come from such and such lines ago, right? So these people are bugged the F out, man. These people are bugged the fuck out, man. Okay, you see it. Okay, to the like I said, everything gets more expensive, you know, and right. So they are corrupted, right? But that is, like I said, the same reason why you see these politicians getting richer and richer. Actually, the more wicked laws they pass, the richer they get, you see. And isn't that oppression? Of course it's oppression, and the scripture talks about that, okay? Oppression maketh a wise man angry. Okay, so that's why we're angry all the time, basically, when it comes to talking about their riches, okay? So we not really about somebody who is rich and a heathen, and you know, like back in the days there were many heathen kingdoms, you know, that were rich and all that. That's not the problem, right? The problem is where these riches come from, you know. And if it's corrupted, then you know what it is. It should be taken away from them. You see? So let's go to 1 Timothy 6. 1 Timothy 6. And 6. But godliness with contentment is great gain, you see. So really, you know, not saying that you don't need need some money, you know, to pay your bills and all that, you know, having a job, you know. If you don't have a job, then writing your application so you can get one, or doing a qualification so that you can receive a certain job if you want. Okay, doesn't matter, but it can't be that you do nothing because you can't pay your bills then. So let's go into that word contentment. A state of happiness and satisfaction. You see? So you have these rich people being not satisfied with all the riches. I just saw a documentary today about you know, Brutus. Okay, Brutus and the other one, can't remember his name, but they were basically, I believe, killing Caesar. Okay, the ruler. Okay, Caesar, or the important person Caesar. You know, and then the one he had this relationship with this Egyptian woman, Nofretete, I believe is she called? It's lucky I don't have it with names. Okay, but I watched even 3 documentaries today about Rome. Remember when Apostle Tar, the beloved elder Apostle Tar, said, you know, sometimes you have to go into the Roman history and all that. So I saw a lot today. And as you heard that he was basically, let's just say how it is, he was basically killing himself, right? So that shows with all the riches he had, he was not satisfied. But then they said like 13 years they were together and all that. But really, it's really all the life, like the scripture says, okay, all pleasure, doesn't matter what it is, even if you're an important person like that, okay, can be, or is done in a half hour, like the scripture says, okay. The affliction of a half hour don't know where that is. Okay, affliction of a half hour make it a man. Ecclesiastes 11 and 27, the affliction of an hour, you see, of an hour. Okay, make it a man forget pleasure. Can't, you see. So, wait, let me get that real quick. Who killed Caesar? Yeah, Julius Caesar was assassinated by a group of senators of the 8th of March of 44 BC during a meeting of the Senate and the Curia of Khan. Like, you had these two guys, why? Like I said, Brutus. You know how these names sounds, man. Okay, kind of like sounds stupid, you know. Really only the Lashwan Kadash, the Holy Tongue, you know, the ancient Hebrew sounds good, man. And that's why it will be spoken again, man, okay? No one calls his child Brutus in the kingdom. Okay, you can do that, okay, no problem with that, but I don't believe that it will be the case, okay? Especially not sad in that way, okay, sounding that way. So, yeah, they claim to be, okay, acting over fears that Caesar's unprecedented concentration of power during his dictatorship was undermining the Roman Republic. Okay, so you would call those two in the documentary. They show two. So now they say it's Brutus stabbing him. So even, you know, it is two, because they had a war going on, like I said, with involving Egypt also and all that, right? But let's just say Brutus was the one who stabbed him. Doesn't matter really, okay, but you call these two Republicans, right? And then you have the fight between the Republicans, okay, and those who still wanted to, you know, to have vengeance for Caesar's death and all that, right? And then they showed that one of these two dudes, okay, not Brutus but the other one, okay, making a big speak, you know, and burning the corpse of Caesar to make it seem as, you know, he wants to take vengeance on the enemy. So he was really then, Salache. Brutus and the other one fled, right? So you had the one making that big speak, okay, and he burned the body of Caesar, you know, which was not even the body as I understood, okay, like a gimmick or you know, just a operation, so to speak, okay, psychological operation, you know, so he can make it seem that he deserves really to rule now, right? But then you had Caesar's testament, where he was not even mentioned. There was another one mentioned, which was only 18 years old, but he really liked him and all that. Right, so really interesting, and you should watch it, okay? If you wasn't seeing something about Rome a long time, right? Because it's important also to, you know, sometimes to go into these things. You know, like I said in the beginning, man, it can't be that you as an Israelite, you walking around, don't know that you are actually the real inhabitor of the land, right? Or that you are you know, that the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, okay, for example, in this case, the Negroes ruled Europe, okay, also Germany, okay, responsible for a lot of buildings, but, you know, they hide a lot stuff and all that, you know the story. But it can't be that you're walking around thinking that this so-called white dude, okay, which they were clowns when we were in the rulership, clowns, man, they worked as clowns also. That shows why they behave like they behave. Yeah, okay. Can't be that you really believe that this dude belongs here more than you. It doesn't make sense. Everything belongs to us, even the world. Okay, which the scripture talks about that. Okay, the world being created for the elect's sake. So you people have to go, man. Okay. But now they made it even to place their laws in our land. Okay. Yeah, and then it goes on, you know, where Caesar and Brutus real life and real friends in real life. Yeah, anyway, okay, the documentary is not difficult to find. You can find it on RRTE. That's a France television, I believe. But I believe you can on YouTube you can find it, but it's France. But I believe you can even translate it, at least subtitles. I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff in the English tongue also. Okay, so it doesn't have to be that. Okay, I just saw it there. That's a France YouTube channel, I believe, right? So really, but it has German audio, so you want to watch it in English maybe, depends. But you know, that's basically the rabbit hole, man. Okay, so let's continue in verse 3. Your gold and silver is cankered, and the trust of them shall be a witness against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasure together for the last days. You know. So all these rich people thinking, oh, we don't have nothing to fear, not even the God of the Bible, because we have those people in oppression, you know. So who cares about what could happen, you know? Which we also are like that, and to some extent we also think like what could happen, but in a righteous way, okay? Because we don't fear these witches, we don't fear these people with these witches, okay? Coming with their robots and stuff, you know, their military robots even, and all that, you know. You know what it is, man. Okay, a lot of things that Christians actually mentally think like, oh, you know, JC comes out of heaven and saves us, you know, before anything possibly can happen. Then that's not the case. Everybody will go to Jacob's trouble. But remember also, Jacob will be the one who will be saved out of it. But not all Israel, okay? Like Paul said, all Israel is not Israel, but only the elect of Israel, 144,000. Okay, and 100 Hebrew Israelite men and women and children. Okay, so let's go into that real quick. Nofretete. Not Nofretete, Cleopatra, right? After that documentary today, so I confused with Nofretete. I mean that Egyptian woman. Bekannte Königin heiratete den Römer zur Zeit Caesars. Also, yeah, basically circa, you know. Not that it is the time of Caesar directly, but Cleopatra, yes. Yeah, Cleopatra was the last active, you know, governor of the Ptolemaic kingdom, Egyptians, yes. Julius Caesar, yeah, and then Caesar died, right? And now it says here, after Caesar was killed in the year 44 before Christ, so to speak, okay, or BC, has Cleopatra had another important relationship, this time with Marcus Antonius, okay, one of the main figures, okay, from the Romans, right? Then it says also that they they wasn't married according to the real marriage laws back then, but their relationship was really intense or strong, okay, and had a big influence on the circumstances in Rome and Egypt. Yeah, Khan. Like I could translate to you something also which I watched today. For example, yeah, the war. Okay, the war. No, that's actually okay. So like I said, you can watch it yourself. Okay. Yeah. And yeah. So, it's not even about it, but like I said in the documentary, which I believe it was reality. Okay, they showed when these two, okay, Cleopatra and the other woman, the important person there, they had like a very, or let's translate it. Please write me in English why their witches in the end of their days wasn't helping them, and why they did suicide. Like, this is also a way how you can test sometimes what you see, because it's not good to tell everything just straight without looking if it's really true, right? But in the documentary they showed that they were doing suicide, right? So now Satan says me that this is actually going off, and I can't ask that. That shows you how stupid these attacks sometimes are. In the end, okay, the great wealth and the power. Now it says again. What is the problem? I never said something, man. Please write me in English why their witches in the end of the days wasn't making them happy. Okay, I just write it, change it into that, and wasn't making them happy, or why they did suicide. Stupid, man. And the fear of humiliation. Yeah, Cleopatra and Antony both faced very well threat of being captured and, like I said, okay, they had wars going on in that time, and paraded in chains to Rome, a fate worse than that of leaders of their stature. For Cleopatra, especially, the idea of being publicly humiliated by Octavian was unbearable. Yeah, Octavian. Okay, like I said, he fought that war against the Republicans. Okay, those who were for basically against Caesar. Okay, those who were against Caesar, right? If I'm not confused something right now. Yeah, but Octavian, in the end, they showed it in a documentary that Octavian was the real winner in the end, right? He had Cleopatra and this other dude, Antony. Okay, if it's him, in because they're changing names, but they had, yeah. He really was the winner. Let me say it like that. Okay, because like I said in the documentary, they did do a suicide. But here it says, yeah, we was reading it already, but rather than face disagree of the loss of their dignity, they chose death as a way to maintain, yeah, like I said, control over their own fate. The fear of humiliation, despite their wealth and power, drove them to make the final decision to end their lives. Like I said, okay, they both took their lives, and this is eventually the fate of, okay, the fate of these witches gotten by the sea people out there, man. Okay. By the time of their suicides, point 4, both Antony and Cleopatra were deeply disillusioned. Their dreams of a grand Egyptian-Roman alliance had collapsed. The political landscape had shifted dramatically, and their former glory seemed lost. They had invested everything emotionally, military, and politically, you see, into their cause, and with no way to turn things around, you see. So that makes the whole documentary series, I believe it's 2 times 50 minutes, really interesting, because it shows a lot about history in those days. Okay. But yeah. Let me just check something. Antony and Octavianus, or how you call him, were the ones against the Republicans, right? Yeah, and one of them had that speak, right? Yes, you are correct. Mark Antony and Octavian were both involved in the conflicts that ultimately led to the end of the Roman Republic, but their relationship with the Republicans, those who supported the continuation of the Republic, was complex. The key point is that Antony and Octavian were, to a large extent, aligned against the Republican senators who killed Caesar. Yeah, like I said. Okay? And then you had that big war going on, and that war was basically Romans against Romans, right? So you had those two, okay, having a big army. Like I said in the documentary, they showed it that way. Then you had those two, I believe Brutus. Right? And who were the main two Republicans? Yeah, like I said, names are confusing, but yeah, like I said, Brutus. Okay, so I got it, but still too much names. Longinus, Gaius, Cassius Longinus. Yeah, they had the other big army, right? So you had Romans fighting against Romans, and that was a massive war, man. Okay. Not the biggest war, because the biggest war, I believe, is against this other dude from where they had the elephants, right? They had elephants in the battle and all that. So that was another great war for the Romans. The biggest war the Romans had. And he made it actually way before, okay? But he was like, he was sailing back, okay? The Gallic Wars, the Roman Civil Wars, the Punic War, you see. Background, the Punic War was the final catastrophic conflict between Rome and Carthage. Okay, after nearly a half century of relative peace, Rome became paranoid that resurgent Carthage might once again challenge its dominance. Yeah, can't, because he made it actually for. He had elephants, okay, going to a whole nother climate situation. Okay, he made elephants going to a snowy Alps, okay, or how you call it in English. Please, in 2 sentences, why the Punic Wars were so special, especially the way he was using elephants. Just an example, but it shows how what strength, those ancient men had, man, okay, to walk all that way with elephants, actually. Then they had this river also in the way. The Punic Wars, particularly the Second Punic War, yeah, okay, but especially because they were a series of epic conflicts between Rome and Carthage, or you say it, Carthage, for control of the Mediterranean, involving massive battles, strategic genius, and the new destruction of Rome, you see. So it's also actually a new destruction of Rome, man. Okay, Hannibal's, yeah, that's his name, use of elephants, especially his Augeas' crossing of the Alps, okay, to invade Italy, remains one of the most iconic and daring military maneuvers in history, showcasing its tactical brilliance and ability to challenge the might of Rome. Khan, yeah, which we were, all of these ancient civilizations, okay, if they had some what is it? Yeah, some good things also. Remember, it's always the Israelites first, man. Okay, that we were them. Okay, like of course you have certain heathens. You can't say that we are the Egyptians. That makes no sense. But you know what I mean. Okay. Okay, the first Greeks, for example, were we, man. Okay, the Israelites, man. But anyway, I want to close it here. Shalom and double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Okay, so even Rome was near its destruction, and it was actually completely, really not, but really yes, it was. Okay, destroyed. But now we live, if you don't know, okay, according to the prophecy of Daniel, we live in the revived Roman Empire. Okay. So it was killed, basically, almost. But now we live in the revived Roman Empire, right? So, yeah, man, okay. So this war is still going on to the end, and guess who will lose this, man? Okay, it's those rich people, not we, man. Okay, because we even win if we so-called or would seem as losing. Okay. So that shows in which position we are, man. In a win-win position compared to them, and they're only in a lose-lose position, man. Okay, so shalom.